No one has any idea or what? Okay. No one has any input on that? Okay. Well, I mean, I guess we'll get going with the lesson. I thought that could have been something interesting to talk about, but I guess y'all are interested, so we won't talk about it. So, fair enough. I guess we'll just do work and not talk about interesting things. All right. If someone needed $25K to maintain a certain standard of living in 1986, how much would be needed to maintain the same standard of living in 2016? Okay, so I talked about this in the notes. You can either write equivalent ratios, or you can use the formula that they have in the book, which is the same thing, just with things rearranged. And so they're saying if we have 2,500 in 1986, how much would you need to have the same amount in 2016? And so this is the CPI. And so you should be grabbing your CPI numbers. I believe we need what, 2016 and 1986, that would have said? Yeah. And then give me the solution to the nearest dollar. All right, so try something out. There's basically 3 numbers that you're working with. There's only, I don't know, there's only so much you can do with 3 numbers. But it should be 240. What am I looking at? 109.6 is 1986. And the other thing is 25K. So if you follow the notes, you should hopefully know how to set this thing up pretty quickly. Might mess up on it. If you messed up, I can almost guarantee you. I know what you did probably. But that's all right. That's what we're here for. Try something out. I don't want to spend more than 30 seconds on this, to be honest. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people in this class are going to be disappointed. Like, I don't know what people are expecting, but like at this point, you're in college. If you don't do what your professor asks you to do, like you're probably going to fail. And I'm not really sure like what the deal is, but it's kind of both my classes. I don't know. In high school, you can kind of pull some BS, right? You can kind of like, well, they can't fail us all. No. In college, you will all fail if you don't do what you're asked. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but like, I would not play that game in college. Like, no, not the game we're playing. Like, they're going to pay me the same cruddy wage, no matter how many people pass this class. And I'm probably ranting at the wrong people. I realize that. You all are the ones here and participating for the most part. But with that said, like, I don't want other people's like shitty behavior to rub off is what I'm also like trying to get at. Like, don't just because someone else is doing it, don't assume that it's gonna go unchallenged, right? Like, they're gonna have to pay for it. So 5474, okay, 4 is pretty good. Like, I would count that, right? 54745, all right, absolutely. I think if you got these 43 or 45, I think you might have flipped your second fraction in there, maybe. So I think the first slide is the formula from the book. This is pretty much the formula in the book, except instead of the dates, they have X's or Y's in there. Something along those lines. And so I will say this, if you look here, this is sort of like your unit analysis. So one way to sort of check is if I'm looking along here, I can look at this thing as kind of being on the top, but this 1986 should be on top and this one should be on bottom. So that's another sort of way I think about this. Like, it matches up with what we do in unit analysis. If this is 1986 on bottom, this is 1986 on top. The other way is if I were to divide both sides by this, right? I would get equivalent ratios, equivalent fractions. So if this is the price in what, 86, horribly drawn 86 here. Here we go. 86. We can see that we're going price in 2016 to price in 86 to the CPI in 2016 to the CPI in 86. And so that's the sort of equivalent ratios. Things should increase or decrease. Goods should increase or decrease at a sort of like similar or constant rate. And so that's what that is saying if we write those equivalent ratios. But at this point, if we have the formula, we're just plugging numbers in. So the price in 86 was the 25K. The CPI, where these are the things that I am pulling from my table. So if I were to bet the people that got those wrongs with like the 40K or something, they probably flipped these two numbers. Maybe, I don't know. But if we multiply and divide, or divide and then multiply, either way, I think we should be getting 54,745. So if we round that up, ought to be 54,745. Questions about that? Okay. So now I think we're going to do a relative increase of some sort, I think. Assuming all prices have risen at the same rate, what was the overall increase in prices? How can I move this over a little bit? It's like getting in the way with the little toolbar. What was the overall increase in prices due to inflation as a percentage from 95 to 2005? So they want, basically, they're wanting the inflation as a percentage from 95 to 2005. So from 95 to 2005. And it should be the nearest whole percent. Okay. All right, so you should be doing relative difference. That is how you get inflation from CPI. Like the inflation is the relative difference of CPI. Those are one and the same. Where's my little screen here?
Professor,
Yeah, what's up?
I just want to let you know that Eric told me that he's having technology problems.
All right. All right. So we got two people. Come on, submit something. All right. That'll probably be Eric, I think. It's weird because it incorrect. 28. I did it to 2 decimal places. Sorry. I told you incorrect, didn't I? Okay. It would be 28 is what I got. Should be 28. I meant to do it. Everything else, I did it to the nearest percent, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Should be positive 28. We're going from the lower one to the higher one. We take those two CPIs, we subtract them, we divide them by the old one. New minus old over old, that's giving me the 28.15. Finding the relative difference of the CPIs, that is your inflation. I don't know where my little screen went. Okay. Housing price index. they give us the formula here, but it's basically the same formula. So the price in the other town equals the price in your town of the prices in what other towns over prices in your town. So this is giving me kind of a weird view. If I enlarge it, does it make it better? Slightly, but not a whole lot. The index of other town over the index in your town. So for a house valued at 400K in Phoenix, find the price comparable. Find the price of a comparable house in Miami. So I'll give you a hint. We want to find the price. And instead of other town, now we're saying other town is Miami. And I believe we're saying your town is Phoenix. And so we have this, and then we have these indices that we have. So Phoenix gives me an index of 122. Miami is giving me 161. And then we know Miami is 161, Phoenix is 122. You might be even like able to guess even if you didn't even know that formula. Just knowing whether this thing's going to go up or down, you could probably guess what order those numbers are going to go in. Maybe. This is the nearest dollar. So I think you're going to have to round it up, is what it looks like. Okay. So 400K in Phoenix, what is that? Ooh. Am I sharing this? Yeah, it says share. Never mind. I was trying to figure out where that screen went. Oh, there it is. Apparently it's an option in there. We're at 5. One more person, come on. I think Eric is having problems. I don't even think he's in class anymore. I think yeah. Okay. $527,869. What were y'all telling me? $527,860. That's it. That's it. What'd you do? Look in the book? You rounded it too easily. Okay, here we go. So we're going to do the price in Phoenix. Or we're trying to find the price in Miami. Will they give us a price in Phoenix? And we get the index from the table. So the price in Phoenix was 400K. Our index in Miami was 161. Our index in Phoenix was 122. And this is sort of like I was talking about. If we want something to be larger, like the larger number has to be on top, this fraction has to be greater than 1. Sometimes thinking about things, stepping back, it might help you out. But that is the solution that I think most of you were getting, something along those lines. That's how to do it. Questions? Are we getting it? I think most people had something in the ballpark. Healthcare spending, total spending on healthcare in the U.S. rose from 85 billion to 3.2 trillion. 85 billion in 77, 3.2 trillion in 2015. They want us to compare the relative change in healthcare spending, and then we're going to compare that to the overall rate of inflation. So this is a two-part question, basically. We're going to find relative change first, and then we're going to find inflation. So first, find the relative change in healthcare spending if we go from 85 billion to 3.2 trillion. So this one should be pretty much a review, I feel like. And remember, you got to move it 2 spaces to get it to a percentage. And I think you're going to have to round this one up. And if you get an obnoxiously large percentage on this one, that might be correct. Are we doing this one? Yes, this should be a review of what we did in 3A.
Wait, so you round to the nearest whole number?
The nearest percent. So
Yeah.
what the thing that you get should be the percent. Yeah, so it should be the nearest whole percentage. So you still don't forget to move it 2 spaces, right? To get it to percent. Man. Yeah, if you're not answering this, like, I'm not trying to be rude, but like, I'm not sure why you're in class. Just being honest. Like, we're here in class to do this work. This is something that is a review. That's something you should know how to do. And if you don't know how to do it, you should be coming to me to ask me how to do it at some point. But spending more than a minute on something that we've done and done over and over again is not a good sign to me. I don't know how to say it. Like, it's not a good sign that you're doing what you should be doing. Ah, man. Okay. Mm. Well, last time I think I mentioned something about this. How to do these maybe like a little bit easier. What are we saying? Are you rounding it to decimal places or something? 3664 should round up. Okay. Where are we getting the other number from? It should be these two numbers, right? We're doing 3.2 trillion minus 85 billion. If you want to write out all these zeros, you can. But if we take away the same number of zeros from everything, or just think about things in billions, right? 3.2 trillion is 3,200 trillion. This is probably what I would do in my head. I would just convert things to the units of billions. And if you do that, you get the same ratio as this. It's the same thing. It should give us something like 36.64 when we subtract these two things and divide it by 85, which is close to what, 3,665%. So we're getting almost like 37 times as big, I think is what this is saying. Does that seem about right? That seems about right because we start under 1 billion and it goes to what, 3.2? Or almost 100,000 or 100 billion, I mean. And it goes to 3,200. That seems about right. And now we want to find CPI from 77 to 2015. Is that what they're asking? Yeah, now we want to find the inflation. We're going from 77 to 2015. So let's see, 77 is this first one here. 2015 is the second to last over here. So find the inflation from those 2 years. Find the inflation, convert it to a percentage. This table's a little bit weird, right? It's like they have a table here and then it comes wraps back around. Sometimes it looks like, I don't know. You got to kind of separate it with your eyes right here. Make sure you look to the right to get your CPI. Okay. So this again is something, the inflation is the new concept, right? But like finding relative change is not a new concept. That's something that y'all should have been practicing. That's something that you should kind of know or kind of be getting down by now. We're going from 77, which is 60.6, to 2015, which is 237. Where am I at? 4 people? This goes back to that fixed versus growth mindset. If you don't give it an attempt, guess what? You're never going to learn it, probably. Part of learning math is just trying stuff a lot of times, seeing what it does. Get a feel for what it does. All right, so I think that's everyone. $291. All right. Let's say 291. 2.91. Yeah, just convert it to percent. So my CPI, when I subtract these two things, divide them, I'm going to get 291%. So the book says to compare this to the healthcare. So our inflation was 291%. Our healthcare is 3665. So what does that tell us about healthcare? Versus how much prices are going up. Prices are going up about 3 times, right? As much is what that means. It's about 300%, you could say. So your prices are tripling, basically. But healthcare is going up by what? Almost 36 times as much, 37 times as much. So healthcare is too expensive, is what it's saying. We should probably keep doing things the way we're doing them exactly the same way, so we're paying way too much for healthcare. Okay. We have two questions that are very, very similar. Number 33 and 34. I think 33 is about private college cost, and then 34 is about public college cost, I think. But if we look at private college cost, according to the College Board, the average tuition and fees at a private four-year college and university increased from $83.96, this is in 1990, to $33,480 for the 2016-2017. They don't have 2017 CPI. We're going to use 2016. That's the next part of this problem, though. But in this problem, we are going from $83.96 to $33,480, and they want to know the relative change and the private college cost over that time period, and then we're going to compare it to the CPI. So the first thing is we have these two costs. We want to figure out the relative change. I don't remember this number. That's there. Okay. Oh man, I just realized how I spelled this word. Nearest. Do it to the nearest percent. Okay, it looks like everyone that's probably going to chime in. Where are we at? 299. What else are we saying? 298.7. All right. Okay, it should be 299 if you round up to the nearest percent. That's good. What else are we doing? The next thing is we want to find inflation. So in order to find inflation, I had to tack on this table again. And we are going from 77. Is that what we said? We are going from, nope, 1990 to 2016. So we're looking at this, we're looking at 1990, which looks like 130.7, I think if I'm getting. 2016, this is 240 even, I believe. and just do it to the nearest percent. Okay, we're at 3. So finding inflation from what, 1990 to 2016? So we're going from 130.7 to 240. Find that relative difference. Are we there yet? There we are. Okay. What else are we saying? Is the relative difference between those two numbers 83.6? Is it? That's probably it. According to the College Board, the average in-state tuition and fees at a public four-year college and university increased from $1,780 to $9,650. So now we want to calculate the relative change in public college cost over that time period. Then we're going to compare it to the overall rate of inflation from that time period. Okay. 442%. What else are we saying? Say 442. And then we want to find inflation from 1990 to 2016. So let's pretend like we ain't done this. I already forgot what it was. This should maybe look familiar. We might have did this once already today, but they put it in here twice so we can compare the numbers. I think I did the numbers previously on the previous one, but didn't compare them, right? So I think in the previous and 33, college went up by what, 291%? And the other thing was this thing as the same number that you found previously. We're doing the same years. Oh, okay, we did this one already. This one should be 84%. So the 33, we were like comparing college went up 291% versus an 84%. What was the other one? I forgot what 34 was, the first part. 9650 minus 1780. 1780. So we are comparing 442% to 84%. So what you might notice is there probably some gatekeepers there or something, right? They're charging too damn much for college. Price of gold. Okay, so this one is going to be take a little bit of time, I think, because I think this is the one where we have to fill out a table, if I recall correctly. The prices shown in the table are not adjusted for inflation. Revise the above table to express all prices in terms of the 2016 dollars. So I want to take this table, this has the prices of all the gold. Can I put both of them on there? There we go. And I want to revise all these prices so that they are in 2016 prices. So you should have 4 different numbers there. And I think the problem says to separate those numbers with a comma. So it should be a dollar amount. It should be a dollar amount here. It should be a dollar amount here. It should be a dollar amount here. So this is the best way I can do construct a table and quizzes. I'm not really sure how else to do it. But there should be 4 numbers to the nearest dollar. What is this in 2016 prices? What is this one in 2016 prices? What is this one in 2016 prices? What is this one in 2016 prices? So hopefully the last number you put in there is 1152. That is 2016 prices already. So we do not need to convert the last one. So it should be 4 different money amounts. Let's see if we can convert them. I guess I could have divided this into more problems, but I figured if you do one, you have it kind of set up for how you should be doing the rest of them, right? So I feel like after you do one, the rest kind of fall in place. if you are doing things correctly. Okay, so if we start with 391, 240 is our 16 index price. 109.6 is this one. 369 and 240 over. And this one, try something out. I will spend a little bit more time in the next slide on this one. 240 over 1.6. Let's see if I can get it right again. Yeah, 52. So there should be 4 different numbers you're calculating. I guess the last one you really don't have to calculate it. It's already there. Put a dollar sign, put a comma in there, separate them. I'm going from left to right too. Hopefully, like y'all aren't just like confused about that. So the first thing we want to convert 391 to a 2016 price. It is an $86. Oh yeah, 3 people got it. Something. Try something. You don't know unless you try, and you probably still don't know until you try a few more times. You usually don't learn from getting things right, you know? Getting things right doesn't usually means you're not learning a whole lot. You got to venture into that territory where you start feeling uncomfortable if you want to progress, right? True math. True if you're into music. Pretty much anything, I think. If you always do the easy stuff that you know how to do, you never get any better, right? It does make you feel better. Your ego's feeling a little bruised. But it doesn't necessarily make you stronger, right? We got 3 people. Okay, so this goes back, I think, to that first problem we did in the homework, right? How do we convert one price to another price? You either use equivalent ratios or you use the formula that they're giving you. Okay, I think that might be as much as we get for. I think 2 people are gone already. Okay. Are we getting these numbers? Let's see. Okay, so it looks like someone got it. So let's look at the responses. We got 856, 564, 757, 1152. 856 is the first answer. 856, yes, here we go. What did you do? It looks like you doubled the amount for some reason. Somehow that got the amounts got doubled. Yeah, I'm not sure how your amounts got doubled, but somehow they got doubled is what it looks like. Okay, so let's do this step by step, day by day. Okay. If we want to find the price in 2016, we take the price in 1986 and we got to multiply it by this fraction. So the CPI in 2016 goes on top. The CPI in 1986 goes on bottom. So if we want to figure out what $391 is in 2016 dollars, I think I'm getting $856.20 for my first one. And I'm doing the same sort of pattern, except I believe this first number changes. So now instead of 391, I have 369 in this here. Now instead of CPI of 86, I'm doing the CPI of 96 on the bottom. The 240 is still the same in every single problem. All I'm changing is this number out in front and this number on bottom. So these both should correlate with 1996. This is the price I want to convert. This is the index. So that should give me 564.44. And the last one, if I do 2016 or 2006, its CPI is 201.6. The amount I want to convert is 636. I should be getting a Jetliner 757. Okay. Now we're looking at this, and I put the price in 2016 down at the bottom just to make this problem hopefully way, way easier. If you bought 3 ounces of gold in 2006 and we adjust it for inflation, will you make money? I think this is the price per ounce. So I think you could even probably figure out how much you're going to make. But are you going to make money? How do you know? If we go from 2006 to 2016, are we going to make money with gold? If we buy any gold and sell it?
I have one question I'm kind of confused about.
Hey, yeah, what's up?
So like, so let's just explain, right? What number would we use to subtract? What's the 636 or the 757?
So they want us to adjust it for inflation. So in order to adjust things for inflation, you have to put them in the same year, right? Because money has different amounts in different years. And so the idea is if we put it all in 2016 prices, this is what we call like it's adjusted for inflation because the inflation is not affecting these, right?
Okay, yeah. I think I get it now.
And so this is adjusted for inflation. And so basically, long story short, if we're going from like 757 to 1152, are we going to make money there?
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully. I think there's one place we won't make money, right? If we go from 86 and we start selling things in 96, or if we go from 86 and we start selling things here, right? So if we bought in 86 and we sold it either here or here, we would start losing money because it went down. Even though it's going up each year, the inflation kind of dwarfs it, right? It puts it off, basically is what's happening. Basically, our price in gold is not raising up as much as our inflation is. So the price of gold is actually going down, even though it's going up, if that makes sense. It's going down in reality, but it's going up over time. I don't know. But if we adjust for the inflation rate, we're not making anything. We'd be losing money if we did it from here to here, right? Or from here to here. You're making money if it goes up. You're losing money if it goes down. I think that's the final one. Yeah, it's going up. All right, so that is all I got for you. Have a fun spring break. Stay safe. Stay distance. We're almost there. There's still a plague going around. Don't go spreading it. But we're almost out of it. So close. Don't start heading things in the other direction.
Thank you. Have a nice spring break.
All right, y'all take care.
Have a good spring break.